Welcome back to Canadian Justice, where we are discussing sports stars' sexual assault and non-disclosure agreements, including the recent scandal with Hockey Canada. So, Rob, my understanding is that since this story broke, there's been a lot of new information about other allegations of sexual assault or misconduct relating to Hockey Canada. What do you know about those other cases, how many there were, and the role that non-disclosure agreements might have played in those other cases?
I mean, I know that they're out east in Nova Scotia. There's another case that's opened up again about a Hockey Canada championship team. But I mean, for me personally, having dealt with this for 20 years, sports has been an issue, but there's other institutions which have been much bigger issues. And I was really surprised by the interest that was taken on with respect to hockey.
Why do you think that is? I mean, sexual assault and sexual abuse is not limited to the realm of sports or entertainment. Why do you think the fascination in this particular case, which of course the facts are quite shocking of this particular case, but sports in general seems to attract more attention than other areas, even though sexual abuse is not limited to just one area?
Yeah, I mean, I deal with a lot of religious institution cases, but I think in Canada, we can say that our national religion is hockey. Everybody has some connection to hockey, either as a fan or a former player, or, every town has an arena. So I think that really, people can either see themselves as the victim or as a member of a team. And, it really just struck a chord with Canadians.
And I think part of what might have upset so many people was the role that ticket sales seemed to play in this case and in this scandal. What can you tell me about that?
Well, there's an issue about Hockey Canada keeping a reserve fund to help settle these things. I mean, I'm a bit on the other side on that. I thought that was responsible of them. I deal with many institutions that never, save for a rainy day. And then we have victims trying to get money from, an empty purse. The situation in the Archdiocese of St. John's is a perfect example. These are victims that will probably not be fully compensated because no one was responsible enough. But I get it. The average citizen and the average fan was saying, like, nobody told me a portion of my ticket sales or my kids' subscription sales, my kids' fees is going to a slush fund for sex abuse.
I certainly understand why people might feel that way as well. Do you think that this comes down to an organizational problem within the culture of Hockey Canada, or do you think that this sort of thing is a problem in all kinds of different institutions and large organizations? Or do you think there's something specific about what Hockey Canada was doing?
I think it's more cultural to the sport than to the institution. I mean, I grew up in a hockey town, Chatham, Ontario. I think a lot of listeners, viewers have had exposure to hockey. I mean, we worship these kids. We put them on a pedestal. We make excuses and exceptions for them. And this is the result. So, I mean, we need to dial down the celebrity worship, especially in sports. And we need to, Hockey Canada, or all of us, need to take some proactive steps to really, dent this culture in hockey. I've dealt with all kinds of institutions. I've never seen this level of debauchery in others.
What has been the fallout to the organization from this case? I know there has been some talk of forcing a change in leadership. What's going on there?
I mean, I think they're feeling the pressure that everyone feels, but, there's a lot of things Hockey Canada did right in this as well as did wrong. I have to be balanced and say, their early and painless settlement to my client was very appreciated, the flexibility on communication plans. But I think it's down at the arena grassroots level where we really need to address this. They have the mechanism to do that, but all of us as Canadians and all as hockey parents, we have the ability to influence as well.
And, do you think that in this case there was an NDA or a communications plan? Do you think that that was more because of the sort of high profile, almost celebrity culture around hockey players? Or do you think that that is something that's really consistently applied in all kinds of different industries when there's sexual abuse allegations?
No, I think the celebrity contributed to it. I mean, in reality, having done sex abuse cases, for approaching 2 decades, it's really a past thing, NDAs. We really don't see them that much, maybe with the exception on the quantum, the amount, but a lot of institutions and a lot of defendants have accepted that that is not going to be acceptable or appropriate in today's day. So I think when there's celebrity, and that's my experience, there's a lot more riding on a name. So the confidentiality holds a value.